Yo, what the freak is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. As you guys can see on the screen right now, there are a bunch of fan films here, and obviously you can see the tier maker. Unless you are visually impaired, you will see that it says tier making at the top, which means we will be tiering all of these Spider-Man fan films. This is every single Spider-Man fan film that I personally have watched. I'll probably do a part two if I watch more. I don't really watch a lot of Spider-Man fan films. I kind of stopped watching them because I decided that this would be a fun little video. Spider-Man Prom Night has just came out. If you guys want to go watch that, it will be in the description and it's on my channel right now. But yeah, so the rules are pretty simple, alright? So at the top it says GOAT, and at the bottom it says act. So, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, guys. We got a lot of fan films here, and we will just be putting them into the tier list. I left a few out. I left a lot out, actually. I wish I probably would have went back and added them in, but there might be duplicates in here as well. Sometimes I forget and like put them in by accident, so you might see some duplicates. Also, before we begin, no hate to any of these fan filmmakers. Like, I know it says ass at the bottom, but like it's just for fun. Obviously these are fan films. Like I understand. Trust me. Like, a lot of these fan films are way better than anything I could put out. So, um, fan films to me, I mean, are just something that, you make out of love for a character. Um, yeah, fan films are obviously not easy to make, and they're when they do come out, they're all, even if they're bad, they're all still special because they tried to do something. They did something that no one else has done. So I love them all regardless, even if I put them on the ass tier. I still will cherish these films. Alright, so yeah, with that being said, Lost Cause will be going in the bad section. Um, Personally, I just found it to be very boring. I didn't really enjoy it that much. But still goes down as one of the most iconic fan films ever made, as it brought in a lot of newcomers who are now old timers in the community. So, props to Joey Lever and the crew. Alright, so yeah, Modern Hero. Honestly, that was my favorite fan film around 2019, 2020. I literally could not stop watching it. I would watch it about like 3 times a day. I mean, not 3 times a day, 3 times a week. And I literally made my friends sit through that. It was a really great film for its time, dude. And Sandman, nobody had used Sandman except Roger King. So that's what I always love with these fan films: breaking boundaries, doing something that no one else does, even if it turns out bad. Like, but like, at least people are actually stepping out and doing things that no one else has done. And they're also setting up the table for other people, like other kids, to get inspired and want to use those villains. So, hopefully I open the door to a lot of other people who want to use the lizard and choose to use the lizard in a future project. And I feel like that's what it's really all about. Taking your inspiration, making it, and then opening the doors for other kids or other members of the community so that they can do the exact same thing, but just different. Not the exact same thing, like as in copying or whatever, but like, I mean, like, you're opening the doors for them to also let out their creativity after seeing your work. So kind of getting inspired. You're inspiring others, and then they will go on to inspire others. So Modern Hero, I'm gonna say it's mid, cause like I said, I really loved it around the time it first came out. Obviously, it still doesn't really hold up today. But like I said, I love the Sandman. I love the message. I love everything about Eric's Peter Parker portrayal. Alright, Spider-Man Renegade. Sorry, Eric. I actually just recently watched this. I was bored one night.
Renegade, renegade, renegade. Go, 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 oh, go, yeah, go, go, go,
I didn't really actually watch it. I kind of just skimmed through it, but I did watch it around the time when it first released. Uh, I did like the addition of Ned Leeds, but I mean, it was around the time of Homecoming, and obviously the suit gives that away that it was inspired off of Homecoming. Um, Everyone likes to clown on the suit, but I'm not even gonna get into that. Like that, I don't know. Uh, that must have been a minor setback. I don't know. That must have been a huge mistake in Zentai Zone's problem. I don't know, dude. But I never really personally had a problem with the suit. I really didn't even notice, but I really like the huge eyes on the suit. Um, I like the acting. Eric was great at acting in that film. It still is to this day. Power Responsibility. We'll be getting into that later. Everyone just did really fantastic. The Goblin was a nice touch. Um, but then again, Harry as the Green Goblin, super overused. Even at that time, he was overused. So, kind of made a mistake there by including that. But like even at that specific time where that movie was released, the Green Goblin was still being overused because that was still around the time TASM came out. It was only like 3 years since TASM 2's release. So I'm gonna say bad. Um, thought some of the effects were weird. Um, some of the fighting was off. Um, Camera work was a little weird. Um, all that stuff.
So how's things going for you here, Peter?
Dawn of Spider-Man, I grew up watching this. It was probably one of the first fan films I ever watched. And I used to love this film back in 2016, 2015, around that time. It first came out. And it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's not good now, but I'm saying when I was a kid, I watched it, and it was pretty good. But even then, here and there, I look back on it, and it still holds a special place in my heart. Even though it might be a little corny, I mean, you can still tell that there was love and passion put into it. But I'm just gonna have to put that in bad. Um, but it was probably one of the best fan films ever made for its time. Avenging Spider-Man. This one had Venom. It was also by Six Side Studios, as Dawn of Spider-Man was as well. Avenging Spider-Man. The Peter Parker actor was really bad, really bad. Every single line was monotone. The suit was really cool. The effects were really good. There were swinging scenes and wall crawling scenes that I really enjoyed. Venom suit was awesome. Yeah, the addition of Eddie Brock was really great, and Gwen, all that stuff was amazing. But yeah, Peter Parker's act, like I feel like if you're playing the main character of a film, especially Spider-Man, who's a very loud and energetic character, I feel like you really need to put your all into that part. Like he's the main character. Like whoever's playing Peter Parker in a film could potentially be the reason that this movie flops or it does good, because he is supposed to carry this project. Like he's literally the face of this film. So if he's giving off a weak performance, then I mean the film's not really gonna be easy to watch. The fighting was pretty good as far as I can remember. I haven't watched it in a few months. Shit. Yeah, so I mean, it was a pretty cool film. I'm gonna say mid. Cause I still really remember enjoying it. Not gonna lie, it was pretty good. All right, Spider-Man Viva. Okay, yeah. Spider-Man Marvel Knights. Oh my God, dude. Marvel Knights by Story First Films is one of the best fan films that I've ever witnessed. It talks about Peter Parker's life as a young teenager being Spider-Man. Flash forward to his death by the Green Goblin, introducing Miles Morales, all in like a 1 hour film. And it's absolutely perfect. Honestly, it's one of the greatest fan films ever made, without a doubt. And definitely set a lot of I think that was the first fan film ever to use Doc Ock, besides Goblin's Last Stand, because they actually had like the CGI arms and everything like that. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but And also, they were probably the first fan film to use Kraven the Hunter, besides Peter's Web. But yeah, so they reintroduced a lot of Spider-Man villains to fan films, especially Kraven and Norman Osborn, all those guys. Because especially at this time too, everyone was using Harry Osborn, so to have Norman back as the Green Goblin was pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say this is because I really did enjoy it, but I felt like some parts were pretty boring, some parts were really good. So I'm gonna say really good. Because there was still a lot of like I'm kind of going off about like how good the acting. Because I remember like skipping through some parts. Like if I find a scene boring, I'm obviously not gonna sit through it. I'm gonna skip ahead. Like that's something that everyone does. Spider-Man Vengeance. Wow. Spider-Man Vengeance. A lot of people hate this fan film. I don't know why, to be honest. It was like a really cool way to introduce the black suit into the series. Even though the black suit didn't really have a place in the film, it was still really cool to see. And the Green Goblin was awesome. Even though they were still following the Harry Goblin thing that everyone was doing at this time, 2016, around that era. Mark still gave off an excellent performance, bro. Mary Jane was cool. I mean, Mary Jane was actually kind of lame. Her acting was kind of mid. She didn't really do much for the story. But the camera work was awesome. They didn't really color grade this movie. It didn't look color graded at all. Like every scene just looked like plain and like gray. I mean, which kind of looked cool in some shots, but like overall, it just kind of looked weird. And then the suit that he got at the end when he fought Green Goblin, the fighting is really good. And the suits are really good. The suits are absolutely amazing. And Mark again just giving an excellent performance. That's what carries these projects. Like if you're a good lead, then your project is gonna succeed. Hey, that rhymes. If you're a good lead, your project is gonna succeed. So yeah, Harry was pretty great. Everything was just really good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Obviously, it has a few flaws. The effects were good as far as I can remember. Um, all the locations they used were good. The fighting was good. The suits were good. I mean, there's really not much more to say about it. I'm gonna say really good. Spider-Man Responsibility, by Buckeye Studios. Don't really remember much about it. I mean, I actually do remember some stuff about it. I remember the Shocker's voice being really annoying. I remember the acting kind of being a little hard to watch. The fighting was alright. Quality was kind of weird. I'm just gonna have to put bad. I mean, pretty sure everyone can agree with me on that. Cake Day. It was pretty good. It's that it. This film. Without this film, VFX artists like Neuro probably wouldn't exist today, because this film introduced a model that pretty much everyone uses. If you have a fan film with a CGI swinging scene, it's probably with this model or referenced by this model made by Peter France in Spider-Man Cake Day. Um, but who knows? Maybe even without this film, CGI and fan films still could have been a thing. But as far as I know, this fan film right here definitely opened doors for a lot of CGI artists that wanted to do exactly what they did in this film. So you got to give them props for that. You also got to give them props for making their film take place in the 60s, back in time, which I don't think any fan film had did before this. Um, since then, a lot of fan film creators have probably done that, including me. Making their film take place in the 1960s definitely opened a lot of doors for fan film creators. And I really liked the plot. It was short and simple. You know, Spider-Man just rushing to get to MJ's party for her birthday, grabbing cake for her, grabbing balloons, and then these goons who stole a car are rushing through the city. Spider-Man has to take them down. It's just really a classic Spider-Man story. It's honestly pretty good. So I'm gonna say really good. Nope, not go. Really good. Mystery of Hammerhead. So yeah, on to the next one. Spider-Man Redemption. Spider-Man Redemption was actually really good. I'm not gonna lie. Really, really good. I like the acting a lot. Um, yeah, really, really good. Really good. Really good. Spider-Man: A Normal Day. Ugh. I didn't really like that one. CGI was really bad. It was again using the Peter France model, but it was really poorly edited. Like the CGI was so choppy. Like I understand it's a fan film, um, and a lot of that stuff actually could have been done practically as well. So I don't know why they were using the CGI model so much. I guess to show off like how they made it look with the Iron Spider logo and everything. But like a lot of times it wasn't really needed. Um, but yeah, so I don't really like that film. Spider-Man: The Ballad of Mary Jane, another classic Spider-Man story. Spider-Man is introduced to Mary Jane uh, on a trip or something like that. I forgot, but he was on a trip or something like that, and Mary Jane was also on a trip, and they ran into each other and started talking, and then he saves her from a mugger, I think. So pretty short, classic Spider-Man story. I like the chemistry between them a lot. It was actually really cool to see. So I'm gonna have to put mid because there wasn't really much else going on. It was just kind of a classic Peter and MJ story. So not really much to really go off of with that. The Spider-Man by Nut Allergy Productions was actually really entertaining. I like the darker takes that they took on a lot of the characters. But personally for me, it just felt way too different. Like it just didn't feel like Spider-Man. And I understand that they were trying to do something different, but like if you were gonna do something that different, I feel like you should have just made an entirely different like original project. Cause it doesn't feel like Spider-Man at all. It doesn't like I don't really feel like it needs to be in that genre if it's so different from the source material. But nonetheless, the fighting is absolutely amazing. The acting is amazing. The series throughout is absolutely amazing. Everything that they did with the villains' origins, twisting them up, that I liked. That I really liked a lot. Especially Mysterio, what they did with Mysterio. That's probably my favorite episode out of that series. But yeah, nonetheless, it definitely could have been its own thing without Spider-Man being a part of that at all. But like, I'm still gonna say it's really good because it was. You know, there's no denying that. What is this? Web of Spider-Man. The prologue, I think it was. It was like episode 1 that Brendan Mello did. I mean, it was alright. Again, doing like a darker take on Spider-Man, which I feel like darker takes on Spider-Man is cool, but like it's also lame because that's not who Spider-Man is. I mean, of course he has his dark moments, but like he's not supposed to be like a Daredevil type character. Like I don't like fan films that have him just gritty and brutal, like a Batman type hero. Like he's supposed to be a fun hero who hides all of his insecurities and pain behind the mask, so that when he puts on the mask, he's putting on a different persona essentially, and like being a fun, energetic kid. Maybe Peter Parker could go like that, like be a gritty kid, but not Spider-Man. Spider-Man should be a loud, funny, wisecracking hero. Um, the acting was pretty cool. The fighting was pretty cool. Not sure how I really liked Brendan as Peter Parker. Not gonna lie in that. I mean, we'll see how he does in Monsters of Manhattan, which we haven't heard a lot anything on really in the past few months, but I'm still very excited for that. But I didn't really know how I felt about his portrayal in this. I mean, I get it. He was going for a darker, more depressed Peter Parker, so his lines are pretty monotone, like in one tone, as if he's just like really sad, narrating like, "Oh man," kind of like that. So I'm gonna have to say it's mid. Quality was amazing, fighting was amazing. Suit that they didn't even use, you can see it kind of in the picture right there. That suit would have been so cool to see, but it was never used, so that sucks. Oh boy, Carson, it was alright. It definitely opened doors to a lot of little kids who joined the community around that time, around 2018, 2019. It was around the time Homecoming came out, and Boy Carson was making a lot of films, and his films are actually getting 1 million views. And they were actually pretty cool, you know. They were kind of corny, a little bit, but the fighting was amazing. That's really all I can say. I mean, the acting was pretty cool. Um, so yeah, Spider-Man: Age of Darkness. Age of Darkness. Still, I love that movie so much. Just like Dawn of Spider-Man, I used to love it so much around the time when it first released. Once again, it was another great addition to the black suit. And they did Black Cat, which I don't think any fan film had did before. except Peter's Web, of course. So it seems like they took a lot of inspiration from Peter's Web, with that storyline, with like including Black Cat, who's working for a crime boss or whatever. That was Peter Webb's situation, at least. But I really I like that addition of Black Cat a lot. That was really awesome. That was really cool. Even though the plot didn't really make sense, they still opened doors to characters that no one ever thought of using. So now we can see Black Cat all over the FFC now. Um, and not to say like that specifically they opened the doors to that. Obviously anyone could choose to use the Black Cat, but like I feel like just a lot of the things that Six Side did opened doors to things that it just opened doors. It inspired a lot of people, man. That's what I'm saying. Um, so I'm gonna have to say mid. What did I put Dawn of Spider-Man? Actually, yeah, it's going with Dawn of Spider-Man. Because I loved it for its time, but now it obviously doesn't hold up. Boy Carson's Spider-Man Homecoming. I actually used to be obsessed with this movie. Not anymore though. I used to be obsessed with this movie around the time when I first started like making fan films, like Spider-Man fan films. I used to watch this on repeat, and I actually copied a lot of it and took the songs out of their thing and put it in mine. It was funny, man. It was great because Boy Carson actually used to watch my fan films and like comment on them and give feedback, becoming something more. Honestly, I didn't really like this movie at all, bro. I like the suit, and I like how they kind of, instead of making it Peter Parker based, he's kind of following his own story, I guess, of like what his life would be like if he became Spider-Man, I guess. The plot kind of like is all over the place. I didn't really understand what the hell was going on, but like I said, I like the suit. I guess the acting, I don't know, it was kind of bland, I guess. Overall, just not for me. The movie was not for me, bro. Okay, Balance Act by Six Side Studios, actually pretty good. I feel like, wasn't it the start of their series, of their Spider-Man saga, or was that commencement? Either or, still pretty good. Like, the quality was bad, but once again, bro, Mark sold, bro. He freaking sold. Like, the opening scene, I think this was the film, right? The opening scene literally opens up, right? Two guys are in a car in a warehouse. They're dropping off drugs or something. Spider-Man swoops in, takes him out. He's on top of the car at one point. He webs the steering wheel. That is so dope. Even if it was poorly done, they still attempted to do something cool. Like, that's all that matters, bro. At least you're trying to do something cool. Like, if you know you can't do something, and then you just don't do it, that's cool. But if you know you can't do something, but then you still at least try to attempt to do it, that's just dedication right there, man. So I really like this movie. I liked how Spider-Man was trying to find his Uncle Ben's killer. To be honest, I really just like the suit and the use of Daredevil. Daredevil was in that. Especially the scene where Spider-Man is by himself taking out goons from like in the Kingpin's little building or whatever. And then he has like a confrontation with the Kingpin, and he's all like, I heard you're the man responsible for my uncle's death. And then the Kingpin's like, I've been the man responsible for many deaths. And then Spider-Man's like, well, let's find out who's responsible for yours. Bro, that line goes so hard, bro. Literally, goat writing, bro. Like, obviously the writing doesn't flow the best with the rest of the film, but that was just that's good dialogue right there, bro. That's good. Those are like iconic lines, bro. Spider-Man Great Power, bad, no comment. What is this? I forgot which one this was. I know it's by Variant Pictures, but I have not watched that in a long time. I actually made this tier list a long time ago. I'm just opening it back up now. I added a few films a few minutes ago, like films that I've watched recently, like as you can see down here. But other than that, most of these films, this tier list is like old, like 2020 old. I'm gonna put that in. I'm gonna put that in ass. Retribution. Retribution was actually not that bad. I like the suit. I like the plot a lot, honestly. I know they remade it with Best of Enemies, But even the previous one, like even the original, is not that bad. I really still enjoyed it, so I'm gonna put it at a mid. So Spider-Man Marvel Knights. This is a more darker take on Spider-Man. It was cool. They had the lizard at the end. The fighting was amazing, amazing, amazing. I like how Peter's just donning like a sportsy hoodie with the mask on. That's pretty dope. I wouldn't even say he's that dark because he still throws out a few jokes. He's just a very quiet Peter Parker. So that's not really. I wouldn't say that's really darker tone on Spider-Man. It's just a more darker, quiet. I mean, not darker. It's just a more quieter take on Peter Parker. He's like a quiet kid, kinda. Also, Gwen was really hot. All right, so we're gonna put that in really good because I actually really enjoyed that. Not gonna lie, I really enjoyed that a lot. They had a lot of extras in the one scene where Peter and his class are going on a trip or something. They had a lot of extras for that, which is always good. I like fan films that have a bunch of people in the background because it really feels like the scene is real. If you have multiple extras in the background, it doesn't matter what they're doing as long as they're there. It really adds character to the scene. This is by Fireball Studios. Spectacular Spider-Man. I don't even know what the fuck that's in there. Rise of a Legacy, Six Side Studios. Man, I love this movie so much, dude. I love this movie. I love this movie so much. I'm gonna get into why, right? First off, the fact that it takes place in a day. The entire movie takes place in a day, bro. The film opens up early in the morning. Peter's getting ready for school, all that, right? And then it literally ends at night. He's taking down Craven, right? That's peak. That's literally peak, bro. It takes place in a single day, which is something we've never seen before in a fan film. It's just essentially diving into a day in Peter's life, which is absolutely amazing. I like the use of Craven. The actor that played Craven, I forgot his name. Absolutely amazing. Mark carried as always. Goat. What else? Liz was a great addition. I love it, man. I really love it, man. I love this one and the remastered version. Love it, man. I love that scene too with the Rhino when he's fighting the Rhino at the beginning. That's really peak. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. One of my favorite fan films to date, and I think it will always stay that way because I love that fan film so much. The quality, everything, the fighting, everything.
Maybe if I stop and I can prove myself to the city.
Commencement. I think Commencement was actually made right before Rise of a Legacy, so the fighting and quality is still equally as good. It's just opening like it's just talking about Peter's life before becoming the Spider-Man we know and love. He's just like him donning his red and blue classic hoodie, sweatpants, going around finding his uncle's killer. It was a pretty funny scene when he cornered his uncle's killer in like a garage and was questioning him. That guy was pretty funny. And he actually played Darnell in Juice Boys, which is also another thing Six Side Studios made. So yeah, pretty good. Commencement was pretty good. Even though we didn't get a final battle with Green Goblin and the Lizard, and Green Goblin and Spider-Man, and it just kind of like ended on like a cliffhanger kind of, and then the next movie canon to that would be Balance Act, and we just kind of didn't really get much on that after. Or no, the next movie canon to that would be Vengeance, right? Yeah, Vengeance after Commencement. Yeah, and then we just didn't really get anything on that situation. Bro, am I stupid? Cause wait, what? No, Balance Act. Man Eclipse, really good. I love the fighting, everything. The suit looked like how it was like knitted together. That's always awesome. Miles, a Spider-Man fan film. I love this movie so much. I love it, man. The VFX absolutely amazing. How they did it is just amazing. It will definitely shock you if you watch that behind the scenes commentary that they did for that film, like how they did all the VFX and everything. Absolutely stunning work. It looks great. It actually looks like a Hollywood budget film, for a fan film. Half of the shots are just them standing in front of a green screen, and it looks like a really well shot film, in which it is. It takes place in the Raimi universe. It's not canon, obviously, but it's like a fan project. So, Peter's Web, yeah, pretty bad. I'm just kidding. GOAT. Roger King is the GOAT. I'm just gonna say that right now. He's literally the freaking GOAT. He, him and Dan Poole, bro. GOATs, man. GOATs, man. Roger King truly made something special, dog. Like, this is truly going to be the best. Actually, hold on, I'll get into that. But it'll truly be one of the best fan projects, Spider-Man fan projects ever made. It was great for its time, and it still holds up, bro. This is one of the only fan films on this list that still holds up. Like, everything still holds up to this day, man. And honestly, I've said it before. I'd really love for Roger King to come back just for one last Spider-Man fan film. I know he's busy. Obviously, he's a grown-ass man. He's a teacher now. But I really love if Roger King were to come back, right? And make like just a little short Spider-Man film of an older, more experienced Peter Parker teaching a young Miles Morales. That'd be so dope, dude. Like a final conclusion to the series. My film, I don't know why that's in here, but really bad, really bad, really bad. Alright, so Green Goblin: The Last Stand. I actually just, I know you guys are gonna hate me for this, but I actually just recently watched this like a few months back. I've never watched it in my life until like 3 months ago, and I was absolutely blown away, dog. I really love this movie. It was probably, I think it was released in like 1992, and it's really amazing. Like, I honestly expected the quality to be really bad when I first watched it because like it was in 1992, and I was curious as to how they got all the footage from 1992 to be exported onto YouTube. So obviously, if you're doing that, the footage was going to be really bad. Which, I mean, the quality is still pretty bad, but like it's enough to where you can see what's going on. So that's enough for me. But really great movie. Dan Poole did an excellent job at Spider-Man. The parkour scenes, the way he risked his life to swing from building to building on a rope to give us an actual real swinging scene, absolutely goated. Literally the GOAT, bro. I have to say, this is probably better than Peter's Web, only because of the true dedication that Dan. He literally risked his life to make this project, bro. He literally swung off of buildings to make this movie. And of course, the final battle, absolutely amazing. The way Peter's just screaming in the Goblin's face, the mask is all torn, all his face is all burned up. He's just screaming in the Goblin's face after losing Gwen Stacy. That's just such a powerful scene, bro. Such a powerful scene, bro. Truly a great fan film, man. Always will be. Always will be, man. I love that movie so much. Love it. Alright. So, Power and Responsibility. So, it's a really long fan film. That's one thing I don't like. I don't really like long fan films because personally I don't like to sit through them. Obviously, you know, you might like them. You might want to sit through that, but I'm definitely just, if I see a long fan film, I just go, ugh. But it's Eric. It's the only Spider. I had to watch it, and it's literally peaked. It's absolutely amazing. I feel like the camera quality, the camera work could have been a little better. I felt like a lot of the footage looked okay. The acting was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. The fighting was amazing. The use of the Sinister Six has not been done since Roger King's portrayal of the character. So for Eric to bring that back was awesome. CGI for Doc Ock's arms looked amazing. Kraven was amazing. Electro was amazing. Sandman was... I wish we could have gotten the old guy back. Shocker was great, but I really wish we could have had the old Sandman be in this one. One thing I do wish could have been better, I feel like I wish there was more build-up, because I understand that this was the first addition to the Spider-Man series, so it felt kind of weird to do the Sinister Six so early on. I feel like you possibly could have connected, what's it called? You could have definitely connected Modern Hero with Power and Responsibility and made them like two films. So that way Sandman would have already been built up. Shocker would have already been, you know, somewhat established, instead of just jumping right into the Sinister Six. and all the other villains as well. I wish there could have been more build up for them. I wish we could have gotten scenes of like what goes on at home with them, you know, because at the end of the movie, I know Spider-Man talks about it on the news, tells everyone their stories, but I wish we could have gotten to see more of that, like, you know, what really happens behind the scenes, you know. And I feel like the only way you could have possibly really done that properly is by including modern hero, because we already would have seen Sandman's life, so seen what he's gone through with his daughter and everything like that. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, Power and Responsibility, I love it, man. I love it a lot. I love the use of adult actors. Norman Osborn was a great addition. Harry Osborn was alright. Gwen was alright. I feel like fan films should kind of take a break from using Gwen now. Gwen is being used a lot for some reason, when Spider-Man has a bunch of other love interests that we could be using right now. Gwen is just so overdone, and I'm not gonna lie, in every single fan film I watch, she seems the same, you know? She always seems like the same character. I feel like some people could really do something different. Like, people could give a modern take on Gwen. Like, I had an idea to make Gwen like an emo chick who has, I was copying the Ultimate Comics so hard, but in the Ultimate Comics, she's like a grungy emo, which is different, you know? It's cool compared to like 616. She's just your basic blonde girl. So Power and Responsibility will be going in the really good tier. This is Film Forum Studios' first Spider-Man fan film. I forgot the name because they changed it, but it was alright. It was alright. The effects are really, really, really good. Film Forum's effects are absolutely amazing, but it's just your basic Spider-Man origin story. I mean, there's not really much different to it. I feel like in the series that they're doing, I feel like there's a lack of characters. It's just really Spider-Man and it's just really Peter and Harry, really. We don't really get to explore any other characters or whatever. But I did like. Hold on, we'll get to that in a second. But it was alright, man. It was alright. It's not really a film for me. The suit was alright. I like the goggles. Other than that, the film was okay. Not really much to say about it, as I don't really remember much about it. But I don't remember liking it. I'm gonna say mid. Broken Identity was pretty cool too. Chameleon was awesome. I remember liking the final battle a lot last time I saw it. Gwen was a nice addition. It was alright. Mid as well. Spider-Man Hunted is actually a film that I watched really recent. It's by a man named Declan. I don't remember his last name, but this film was actually really, really good. It was another film that used Kraven. Great. I always love films that use Kraven. And it actually uses Miles as well. Miles is Peter's friend. They meet at the beginning, and he's kind of like that funny comedic guy who's just trying to get Peter to talk to MJ. I love the chemistry between Peter and MJ, by the way. And it's just a quick watch. It's like 40 minutes. So that's always nice, you know, just to watch a fan film quickly, you know, not wasting any time, just 40 minutes long, you know, you done. Love the fighting. The fighting was amazing. The fighting between the Spider-Man and the thugs that got out of the car, absolutely outstanding. Loved it so much, bro. The fighting choreography is amazing. I really need to get better with my fighting in my films too, bro. I can never get around with that. Like, I don't know the first thing about choreographing a fight. I might have to hire someone for that, but I guess you'll see in the next movie where that goes. But yeah, man, love the film, love the camera work. Everything was amazing, dude. I love the chemistry between all the characters. I have to put that in really good, man. Really good work. Spider-Man Quarantine, this film was so bad, dude. Oh my god. This film was really bad. I don't even understand what the point of that was, man. Really bad. No hate to CDM visuals, but I just really did not like that film. I mean, I guess it was something fun that he made for, you know, quarantine. You know, everyone was bored during quarantine, so he just decided to make a Spider-Man fan film in his house. Personally, not for me. Really boring. Wasn't really much going on. I mean, it was just. I feel like you could have definitely did something about yourself being in the house. You know, why did it have to be Spider-Man related? I don't know. Next, Spider-Man taking up arms. It was alright. It was alright. It was alright. Doc Ock was clearly, obviously CGI at the end. I feel like you definitely could have had a guy there with CGI arms. He just looked like a game character compared to everyone else in the film. Um, the acting was okay. Spider-Man was alright. I don't like how they used the Far From Home suit. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for that film. Green Goblin, that's another copy. Paste by accident. Another World, really good, man. I love this. I didn't like Lost Cause, but I really, really, really love Another World, man. I love it so much. I love how Peter goes to a different universe and fights with Miles at first, before getting to know him and everything like that. It's just perfect. It's a really good film. I love the CGI, dude. And you can clearly tell there was a lot of heart and effort put into that film. Definitely, I have to put that in goated actually, because I really enjoyed that film. Really enjoyed that film, dude. Best of Enemies, really good, really good, really good. Cinematography was amazing, fighting choreography was amazing, everything was just great. Sean killed it again as Peter Parker. Um, and I love the use of Scarlet Spider, all that was amazing. Green Goblin was amazing as well. Sean just kills it, man. Like, Sean is such a good director, with everything, dude. The cinematography, I don't know if he's the one that directs, but whoever's behind the camera, whoever operates the camera, does a great job. I love it. I love it so much. I love the camera that they use as well. The sound is always good. Fighting is always good. Never disappoint with that. Miles Morales' final, what was this called? I forgot, but I remember watching it. It's by Josh Reels. It was one of the first fan films I ever watched as well. Came out like 5 years ago. I love this film as well. I think they were going against Morlun. It was him and Spider-Gwen. Really great, really great. I loved it a lot. I love the suit. I love Miles voicing over the half the film. So I'm gonna have to put that in really good. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be my tier list. Hope you guys enjoyed, man. This took a long time. I don't know how long this video is, but I'll probably make a part 2. Send me your fan films. I'll probably give them a watch. Make sure they're worth watching, though, please. Don't send me an Android shot film. All right, I'm trying to get in. I'm trying to get back into the fan film thing by watching other people's films and stuff like that. So I might do a part 2 soon. Just send me fan films. Send me yours if you want. But yeah, that's about it. This is my official rating of these fan films. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. And, yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say.